What's good, everybody? Welcome to another Age of Empires 4 build order guide. Today we are covering Kasva's new Holy Roman Empire build. It is for a triple TC build here. Recently, the 2 TC build has gained a lot of traction, and Kasva has actually come out with a 3 TC build. He's had a lot of success with it here recently. We'll check on his little AoE 4 world. This is Marine Lord, so he's had a couple losses there, but was able to take down Viper, Core, Szalami, Blade, was able to take down beastyqt. So he's had a lot of success with this. It has a very good win rate. He's climbed into the top 15 here in AoE 4, and so we'll see what HRE build he decides to do. So right off the bat, he goes ahead, he queues up another scout and a prelate. He sends 4 onto the sheep. The other 2 vills build a house, mining camp, and go to the gold. And with these scouts, he's going to go ahead and gather as many sheep as possible. Go ahead and make those circles on either side of his base here and just gather up as many sheep on the map. This will provide nice, safe food gathering where you won't have to expand out and go to even berries or other food sources there early on. The prelate here that comes out will end up microing between the gold and the food. So what'll happen there is it'll kind of just bounce back, continue to inspire these vills, and make sure all of these vills are getting that inspire bonus. Next vill that comes out goes onto the food. It'll be a nice 502 starting build, and then the next ones you'll start queuing up and go into gold until you get 5 onto the gold as well. So 505 is the beginning. You'll notice he's actually playing against the Roos here, so he's countering the bounty of the other side, grabbing these wolves, countering the deer. Even if he wasn't playing Roos, he still starts with these double scouts. We've seen him play this build quite a few times. He gets pressured early sometimes and learns to adapt from it. So the ways to adapt from pressure would be making sure you gather your gold earlier on. If you expect pressure, you can end up gathering stone earlier and taking less off of wood, and then gathering the wood later on once the stone comes, once you already have the stone secured. And then you can also utilize your second TC to secure up resources, which would cause rams and them to build more before they can actually continue to pressure. And so that's really a couple ways to counteract some of the early pressure. You typically don't want to be forced onto military production buildings until you've at least dropped one of your TCs, preferably both. But you know, each game is going to happen differently. This is just a template, as all build orders are. They're just a start. You're always going to have to counteract whatever the opponent decides to do. Right now, if you know your opponent came up and you scouted that he was trying to drop a tower right here, well, you'd have to change up your build, pull your gold vills out, or deny the tower, whatever it may be. So now we've gotten to 505. He sends a vill onto the wood line and builds a lumber camp here. And then he has a prelate queued up here now as well. Now the one prelate will kind of micro between the 2 close resources. So wood and food in this case are really close. This prelate will just bounce between the vills on wood and food, inspiring all of those. And the other prelate will just sit on the gold, inspiring all of the gold villagers. This next vill that comes out should be going to lumber, I believe. Let's see. And then he pulls 2 gold vills off and builds the Minework Palace. And yep, that one does end up going to wood. 5-2-3 balance. These gold vills will stay on until they hit 150 gold, which is enough for Wheelbarrow. And then we'll end up pulling over to the wood as well. And then after this woodville comes out, I believe he wants to gather a little bit more food, get a little bit of a food reserve bank, and then he'll pull up a couple other food vills here over to the wood line as well. There it is, pulling 2 from food, and then there's the 3 from the gold. You basically pull both at the same time, so it's kind of easy to know. Once you get that 150 gold for Wheelbarrow, pull those 2 food ones as well. Now we got a nice balance of 8 onto the wood line. That's typically what you'd see for those 2 town center builds. And now he starts sending to the stone. First vill that goes onto the stone builds the mine, obviously. The next one that comes out will actually build a house and then go to stone. And when the mining camp gets closer to finishing here, these 3 wood vills will actually pull and go over to stone as well. Probably here in just a second. And the reason being is just how I mentioned. You want to make sure to secure up this stone resource as fast as possible. Prelate no longer needed on gold. He pulls the prelate from the gold and sends it over to the stone because now that's going to be one of the main resources he's gathering. And there's the 3 woodvilles pulled over to the stone. House finishes just in time. Great build by Kasva here. You can tell how tight it is. He's really got some of these timings down well. Continuing to bring sheep in, continuing to scout around the map and deny bounty, and also now he's going to start getting vision of what his opponent's doing. You see now he's starting to, have a good amount of vills onto that stone with 7, and that is what we'll stay with, and now he will start sending back to the wood line. The 7 will be good enough to gather all the stone for both TCs. He'll actually pull 2 off to build the second TC, and we'll see that here in just a little bit. These gold vills that were on mine work go right back to gold and do like basically 1 drop off, but they will help with the TC as well. And he's just continued to queue up his vills onto the wood here. Now we see, okay, dropping a scout here for vision. Probably going to see, hey, is he going to try to take the boar on the other side? What is the Viper trying to do against him? Now we see, mine work finished. Next drop off, he will have enough for that second town center, and he drops it, securing his gold and wood line. I've watched a couple different games. Sometimes he secures food, sometimes he secures the wood line first. And really the thought there is, I think, secure the wood line to help you get enough wood there for your next TC and your gold, just in case you need it for Castle Age as well. And then the next town center that he drops will end up securing food. Most likely, coming over here onto the deer. The deer is always preferable, whether it be close or far away. A lot of times I've seen Kasva build that third town center a little bit further away. It causes a military split, and you also have the benefit of your emergency repairs as HRE. So he did pull 1 vill off a stone to build the mill, and is immediately going to queue up Wheelbarrow here in just a second. And then the other vills that were on stone, he pulled 2 to build the town center, and then he pulled another, I think it was 5 from wood. The 2 that were on gold went back to gold. The rest all go to lumber, so it's kind of easier to know that balance. And now all your new vills have been going to food now. So just everything new has been going to food. And that's because now you're going to know you're going to need army coming out, or you're going to be going up to Castle Age here is the next objective. He has enough stone for that next town center. And just how I mentioned, he's pulling those vills over. He's basically going to get a secret TC that will be on top of the food. And that will start skyrocketing his food up to Castle Age or up to military there. This is really the core of the build here. We're at a 10-10-2 balance. He's got enough for that next TC here with the next drop off of the Woodvilles. And from here, it's all going to be about what you've scouted, what you've seen, and what your game plan is. Some people here might choose to try to go up to Castle. We can see Kasva's nowhere close, so he's got to get some horsemen out. Maybe try to defend this archer pressure that should be coming in here. And so that's most likely what he will end up doing here in just a moment. But really, sometimes I've watched a couple games of him doing this. Sometimes he just skyrockets straight up to Castle. Might be against, more passive civs that have the similar idea, such as Abbasid Dynasty. Against more feudal age civs and aggression, now he might use this economic bonus and start just skyrocketing his military, getting that foothold as far as military goes, and getting those cheaper technologies with the mine work if needed. So that's really the start of the build. Take it for what you will. It's obviously had some success with Kasva. I haven't seen a lot of the other pros try it yet, but I'm sure with the popularity that he's had and success he's had with it, that we'll start to see a lot more often. So let me know what you thought about it. Throw the like, subscribe button, thumbs up. Comment down below what other builds you might like to see and suggestions that you may have for me. Thanks again, and we'll catch you all next time.